That's the simplest thing. We got in about 10 o'clock. Went to the hotel, checked in. We walked somewhere.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh. You're not going to believe this, guys. Check this thing out. It is really, really true.
This one was electric?
I have no idea.
Smart car, I think it is.
It's just... No, it's not.
It's a smart car.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I'd like to welcome you to our trade business, and I may now introduce my family to you, which is not completed.
You're still working on your family?
Ich hole das nach. Mein Name ist. Jetzt kommt meine Familie. Arbeiten in diesem Handwerksbetrieb seit Jahren aktiv mit und teilen mit mir Frust und Freude.
My wife Hilda, my daughter Margaret, they both have been working here for years and share ups and downs with me.
That's how
In Hannover, weißt du? Hannover, Messenshop.
instead of going.
Now in LA, if we put blocks in like this, they can take up.
And Bavarians are very easygoing but not that intelligent. Well, and we used to say if such a Prussian once comes to Bavaria for holidays, he's coming all bankrupt after that because they had service facilities for the American troops. So they have gone home, and Bad Tölz was one of the main areas here to have American Germanic people. On the other side of this small pond, opposite you can see a typical camping site. That's what we have here. Tents being quite close to each other, and it's a very sociable kind of holiday here. People are coming. So, well, does it exist a special nation, Bavaria? No, it's a mixture of three different. That's why we have so many different kinds of characters and personalities here in Bavaria, and very many of them are a bit eccentric, like our dream king, whom you call the Mad King, who was maybe a little bit buoyant, and it is the oldest one, dated 747, and it's very famous. Having inside, for example, an old museum, because after the secularization, it means 1803, when the Church Institute for Fraunhofer, Mr. Fraunhofer, and he found out, for example, the lights of the sun. How do you call it? Spectral. Spectral light. Yes, spectral light. And he had very many astronomical instruments built as well. And we have the Fraunhofer institutes, even nowadays, about 40 of them around Munich. And after work. So this is the end of the Autobahn. Coming from Munich originally, going to Garmisch-Partenkirchen, now a narrow street starts here. And this is the part which is normally jamming, but not today. Because we have holidays and families with children, they are already in the Alps. Or they have traveled to USA, you would think. California, I guess, where the sun is shining nicely. Or Florida, I think Florida is more covered. There are more flights. So the end of the Autobahn, where the private cars, individual cars, there are no limits, except the areas where villages are close to, then there are limits. The buses, of course, are not allowed to drive faster than 60 miles an hour. The railway, the road through would not be the problem, but you know the way out. If there is a way out on both sides, you have huge circles to drive out, and it takes all the valley here. With a crane on the left side, the yellow crane, that's where the tunnel is driving in through the mountain. And in front of us, Zugspitze again. Not the one here, the left side, like a pyramid, no, the right side of this mountain range is Zugspitze. On the left side, in between the forest areas, you can see green ways coming down. That's the skiing slopes. Welcome for skiing here next winter. In the Alps there are 40,000 skiing slopes. 400 small roads and 40,000 people are coming to the Alps annually to stay overnight. 40 million, did I say 1,000? 40 million visitors and 60 million visitors during the daytime, like we do now, traveling back home again. 60 million guests, and the Alps are only 750 miles. So if you see here a sign in front of the house which says Zimmer, this one over there, can you see it, Café Drawn? This one is wonderful. Post, Hotel Post, that's where you can have a cup of coffee, and Franz will pick us up after half an hour's time. We have now 20 past, so let's say 5 to 11.
Daytona.
5 to
Triumph
11
Daytona.
is the departure time.
Believe that?
What was that?
Well, maybe Franz could even keep standing here. Ah, that's good. Yes, that's free here. So go to the right here. The procession is coming along this street here to the right. Join them. I hope they are hurrying.
That's another 5 or 10 or 20,000. Doesn't make any difference.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like the movie on the plane on the way over. At least we can look.
That's right.
We're making money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you saw that movie too?
Umbrella. It's a 10-minute walk, slightly uphill.
Cool. We're going to attempt to buy this and put it out by the pond. What do you think?
So we have now 10 minutes break for taking pictures.
We just almost saw it. Yeah, he's got it right over. That's kind of neat. I told you that.
In the ski house, I'm having a whole room dedicated to it. They've been slipping out of the room that they were supposed to come around.
Well, we saw our first Diablo up there. And the horses.
Okay, she's getting them over there.
Oh. Leg cramp, leg cramp.
No, I can't. I'm not very good at picking either.
Yes. Arlene, you want me to get you one too with that? Well? Yes. Where's your, oh, there we go. Okay. Arlene, you get it. We'll get one of you.
Come on, let's get together.
I got the castle right between the two of you. Okay.
Good for you for bringing it. I forgot mine and all the carry-on. Anybody else want to use the Spanish hand?
You're not
talk to my anchor, you probably will.
All right.
Most people believe that man-made thing put some stuff in it.
Okay, we are here at Dachau, the concentration camp. And here is a sweeping panorama of it.
And when we go on here, on our right hand side, we will see terrace houses and some high buildings. I wouldn't call it a skyscraper, but you see the buildings here on the right side. This is the Olympic City, and maybe you will remember this was the accommodation of the athletes. Unfortunately, there was also the attack to the Israeli team.
fashion they modified also these colors. But this first track was finished in 1675. Adelaide couldn't enjoy these colors for a long time because she died already young, 1 year later, at the young age of 40. And Ferdinand Maria only survived her for 3 years. So the builders haven't been often here in Nymphenburg. But Max Emanuel, he was very ambitious and he wanted
Similar forward ski and low ski.
Wait until we are talking about Lola.
This is Lola Montez.
We see again Max Emanuel and his second wife, Therese Kunigunde. But I think my favorite picture here in this room is this one on the right side. We see Max Emanuel and his elder sister, Marie Christine. Remember, I said first the girl was 4. Marie Christine was 6 and Max Emanuel 4 years old. You see that he is wearing a dress like a girl.
Ja, bleib doch mal da unten stehen. Micha, bleib mal ein paar Mal hier unten stehen. Hier, Rolf, bleibt ihr doch mal hier unten stehen. Hier, Horst, hier, Micha. Theo, hallo, hier vorne sind wir.
Ja, also mal sehen, wir haben früher schon mit den Steuergeldern von den Kollegen
This is the hunting lodge.
Rachel Young has a sculpture of Diana over your front door, and you look here.
Uh-oh.
This is the photographic spot.
Hier, get me something good.
were friends of Austria. He was Chancellor of Everton, more popular around the world. And here on this side is one glass here. The first have to stop and take a
What's your average?
If you can't understand me, then I try to cry louder. This is the only church where we are allowed to guide the other churches reserved for prayer. Here the building becomes wider to the resurrection of Jesus Christ. In the 17th century, when this church was in the Roman, was already the Catholic, and the Catholic Church wanted to go a step.
I've been watching this guy.
Receive of the sound of music. So size, but I explained it. Janet. The way to the receive of the sound of music.
30 years like this, and we'll see which one we like the best.
No.
We don't mind.
Remember the
There it is. It's on the other side of the wall.
This is in Austria, coming into Innsbruck. A little place we stopped at to get something to drink.
You're all the longer we're in. And it is.
There are some silver mines in here, by the way, in this area here. Very small ones, but very expensive because it has a very high lead content, and that is made just outside Innsbruck in a town called Buttons. Pardon? They'll ship. Oh yes, you can have things shipped out of Austria. Sure. You see that here too, most of the houses are covered with wood, being such a big timber industry. In use today, whether there's mass on at the moment, I don't know, but you might want to get out of the coach for a moment. If the door is open, which I'm sure it will be on a Sunday, you might want to pop in. Yes, the door is open. If there's mass on, it's very likely, but still, have a look inside.
Just another tree stove.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes up more land. So if you stack them, you must make sure that the last person in there, that's why I've told you things on the coach, I could be arrested for actually explaining things outside, so I won't. What we're going to do is we get off the coach, and as we walk, we come past the Stade, it's called the Hofburg. We come into the tiny little streets of the old city center, and finally, right in the middle, we find ourselves in front of the Golden Roof. The Golden Roof, which was made as a little
ladies and gentlemen, we're about to enter the Europa Bridge, which is the longest bridge in Europe. It's 777 meters. That's, come on folks, help me out here. No. To 700, oh yeah, it's about half a mile. So, half a mile, yeah, it's just over. 1,500, 1,600 meters is a mile, isn't it? Yes. It's going over the. It's called. You'll notice that again here too, the border posts have disappeared, and we are through. No problem. So we are here. Here's the official sign on the right, the blue sign with the 12 gold-colored stars of the European Union. You have now entered Italy. Welcome to Italy. You're through. That was not very difficult. So I should probably say benvenuti in Italia. Welcome to Südtirol or Alto Adige. Alto Adige means the High Adige, where the Adige River comes from, and that's the river that goes through Verona. So, having left where, here you see the Italian flag on your left, green, white and red. All the control points have closed. It's all changed since the Schengen Treaty. Now, what exactly does that mean? First of all, some of you have noticed the blue flag with the circle of 12 gold-colored stars. That's the flag of the European Union. The fact that there are 12 has nothing to do with the number of states, of countries. It is 15 member states. We now have 15 member states. The European Union started in 1957 with the 6 original members, west and centre of Italy. The tribes were separated from each other and didn't really have much to do with one another because these mountains were really obstacles, were really natural borders. Therefore, they developed their own languages, their own cultures, their own civilizations until the conquering force of the Romans. Now,
The jacket with this guy here that says Rebel on the back. That's hilarious. That's funny. We're in Italy, and these guys are on Harleys that I know are super expensive over here.
Prima del cafe.
Possiamo prendere anche noi le bambine.
That on tape. Speaking to the button here.
I am thoroughly looking forward to every adventure, planned and unplanned.
Fantastic. I'm glad you said that.
Especially the technical visits.
Especially the technical visits that
Well-
Larry and Stuart are going to write about.
Special Agent Claybaker, what do you think of that?
I think that no one should shirk his duty at the technical visits. If
I
they're
agree.
Signed, I think they should
I
go.
agree. We may learn something.
If one was assigned a duty, that they should fulfill it.
I agree.
However,
Can't you phone it?
if you don't have a duty assigned to you, I think you have a pretty good option
Can't you
available to you.
send a photographer?
Who do you think's gonna give it this up?
Uh-oh. Smile. Arlene, say hey to Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Okay.
Wish you were here.
I know she does too.
Too bad. So sad.
Är det varmt? Ja, jag kan sluta slå.
But I can say this, it's much better to get outside than not always gone and dedicated. She gets really, when we arrive here, I've taught myself as if you're untied, Rick gets untied, Velma get up there. I've taught myself to step back. She gets really.
You noticed how quiet it is.
It is.
And I was like,
Very much so.
Must be a rule or something.
You will not to speak.
well, I have a board. Really? You know.
We're recording. Bring it in closer. Oh well, let me get a little of that. You already got all that, right?
Otherwise, they send you straight to
Prison.
One-way
trip.
You
don't come out.
One way, just a one way. Yeah.
Inside the door.
Maybe we can. See, those are not painted, but they are crisp. You know what a crisp wet? So the crisp is a painted, like wet clay or a wet plaster. Michelangelo, the system travel, painted, fresco.
But also, you remember the ceiling of the British Palace? Wood. Inside of the church, marble everywhere. The church is extremely heavy. Don't forget that the church is in brick. Like all the other buildings of the city, all the buildings here are in brick. Because the only material that had here was clay. With clay you make brick. But bricks are not impressed to show off. That's why the Venetians covered the bricks with marble and stone. Brought to Venice from different places by boat. So the church is in brick and then it was completely covered with marble. Approximately 500 columns. They don't support any weight. Because of the weight is supported by the huge square pillars that we saw inside. Maybe you remember that. They're big square pillars. They support.
This one gonna blow a flower vase for us. This is what we call the blowing glass technique, and that is the reason why we call it like this. Because we always start making the glass hollow inside. And we just can do that blowing the pipe. Doesn't matter if what we're gonna do is a flower vase, any kind of dinky set, a plate or a bowl. We always start like this with a blowing glass technique. After making it hollow, we can start shaping the piece, and we just can do that using the pieces. You see, tools we use are the same since we used, the same we used when this began, 1,300 years ago. Arrow pipe to blow through, pinches and scissors. We never use all to start opening up the top, the mouth of the vase. The question is that the neck is already too cold and then too hard to be shaped. It cools down so fast that he needs to repeat it already. In the meantime, please, look at this. Master Dino is going to show us something different. You didn't see him blowing through the pipe in this case. This is important. This piece, it will be a massive piece, kind of sculpture in glass. Can you recognize it? If you say no, I don't believe you.
My God.
Of course. It looks easy, doesn't it? Yeah. Orange, when we repeat it, a few more touches, and the piece is over. Once more, perfect.
That's a real wise idea.
Hey. Okay, there's where some of us are staying. And that's where the other ones are staying.
Woo! We're like really close to the water line here. I wonder what.
They all are.
Woo! Look at that bunch over there.
Oh, there's Daniel.
Oh, sorry for the zoom there. It's I understand.
Oh, you've got musical things now, aren't you, Robert?
Yeah, I started going to Kalispell for the jam.
Jazz festival?
Oh, yes, that's right. You think I'm going to stay home? No, but I thought I heard you saying that you're going to. Well, there's some of them that I don't know. There's one band that I know. It's going to be there for a while.
Daniele Excelsior and the Daniele.
Some of them are out of state. Some of the rest of them are out of state. Oh, no. How are you?
inside the Dolce Vita.
Oh, privacy, huh?
They were looking for you. I guess they found you. Así con un smile grande, así así. Non vi amici suoi Renato lo stesso. Close enough to get the fact it's better on this boat than that one. Ma no, c'è Marco con me però, sa? Sì, come? Fa topa, Diego. Mira se queda. Fa topa. Non parla mai di quel movimento classico. Vea qui. Mica nasce. Ovviamente chi ha carico. E non ti compri niente. No, non ti compri niente. Non compri niente. Spaghi, diva. Io do uno da lì. Ma questo non era la prima. Non è stato braccio con mamma. Grazie. Basta. Diego. Diego. A tu amigo, Diego. Está dando pura.
animo. Yo. I cavalli, via, no? Che lei? No, no. Riesco a farti com'è,
Western civilization, as it were. He was born in Padua, lived in the 16th century, and his ideal, you see, in the church ahead of you on the left, it is the Church of Christ the Redeemer. That's why the statue of Christ the Redeemer on top of the dome. His idea of perfect architecture was a cube of course is as high as it is wide as it is deep, surmounted by a perfect circle or a dome. The dome, of course, was not his own invention. Domes existed in Roman days, and were actually the domes that we see here are influenced by the domes in Byzantium. But this church very much expresses his ideal of building. Of course, it is not a the windows are made in stone, Istrian marble, and a lot of these windows are pointed. That's why we call it Venetian Gothic, because it's very unusual. You have the combination of brick and pointed windows. So the Franciscan church now here, you're right. Another altana or illegal balcony there on the right-hand side, obviously made legal after the exchange of the envelope. And another beautiful example of Venetian Gothic. Look at the pink house on the right with all the geraniums, all the flowers. It is stucco covering the brick, and then stone surrounds around the windows, making it into a Venetian Gothic building. Now, a lot of these residences on this side are still privately owned. Some have been turned into hotels. You can imagine with 6 districts in Venice, each containing about 6,000 addresses, 6 times 6,000 addresses is 36,000 addresses, with only 70,000 people. That makes an average of 2 people per address. In other words, a lot of the property stands empty. Most young people have moved out of Venice, live on the mainland, because they can't. This is the largest, but now the Royal Caribbean are building one that is even larger, trying to give them. This is Otabar. They all started to pour into our hotel. Oh yeah, it is very big. Yeah, this is the Grand Princess. The Grand Princess. It's the largest of the, for the moment, the largest cruise ship. But as I said, the Royal Caribbean is building one that is even larger than this.
Huh? It's a race engine.
Yeah, it's British, yeah.
How about
Yeah.
Our mechanic is trying to fix the air conditioner.
Good. Here we are doing little repairs on the autobus.
Un certificato per la commemorazione della visita.
Grazie. And we also have a small gift.
È un piccolo regalo
Grazie.
per l'azienda.
Grazie mille. Yeah, in America, the American Indians make a ball they call a cuchina.
In America gli indiani fanno una bambola che si chiama un cucina.
Yeah, this is an American Indian cucina.
E questa è una bambola così che forse si può mettere nell'ufficio.
Certo, mettiamo qui
They'll put it in the reception area.
Grazie. Well, thank you for letting us come.
Mille grazie speriamo di sì, andiamo a vedere.
She became a long
Well, the weather forecasters have it wrong again.
It was supposed to rain this afternoon.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain, even lightning. Arches that it is continuous, that you,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and so you would think it's when the sun like this it won't last long.
Pardon me. Quit it. Quit it.
Quit it.
Quit it. Quit it.
Hello, Kathy.
The commandant has spoken. We have to get a picture of this room, though. And the ceiling. The commandant has spoken. We must move now. Put out that cigarette, Arlene.
White trash. I'm white trash.
We're who?
White trash.
White trash. Okay.
Wheels on this place, dude.
I don't know, Arlene. I don't know.
Sweetheart. Oh, look at the trowel. I've never seen a trowel.
You see that one on the right? That's a Russian. That's a
See him there? In his green jacket and red trousers.
I don't see him.
Yeah.
No, I see him now.
There we are. Welcome to San Marino, Republic of San Marino. The RSM, as it is on the sticker on the back of cars. Well, that's what you should have.
they say, okay, this hand the right hand side. How do you do it with the stone?
That's how they became rich. Some of these lawnmowers, they're and they lived only from the first floor. That's how they could drive in there with a carriage.
This guy is
creation of man.
This guy is.
Got all these It was with this door that officially Renaissance starts in 1401. For the first time, at that moment, we saw perfect perspective of sculpture. As was depicted was first painter too. Painter and sculptor. That meant too that he started to build the bell tower, but also Giotto did not finish the bell tower. It was finished later on by Andrea Pisano and Francesco Toledo. Bell tower was built here and that was something which the square here was only opened at the end of last century. Till the end of last century, we had only medieval houses here. At the end of last century, this was sort of ruined. They could not restore it anymore, so they took it all away. At the end of last century, of course, Florence became capital, and they needed nice squares. They had Paris and London, for example. This city was a medieval city. Real Western style, also the arch, from end of last century. And in those days, the square was dedicated to the first king when Italy became a republic. And the column then, which you see over here, represents the center of the Roman village. We're waiting for you. You're totally going to be there too anyway. So,
Okay, when you touch the nose this way.
Don't bite.
About it. Okay, bye.
Okay, from over here, first of all, we have a very nice view on the Signoria Square. I'll tell you more about it right away. Over there, at the end of the street here, to your the mayor had power, but you can imagine that the mayor is a citizen. That sense, we would say that at the beginning of the 18th century, was the elderly it were children and grandchildren who took over power around the beginning of the 15th century. In the beginning of the 16th century, then the Medici family became noble. First, Duke of Florence, and later, Grand Duke of Tuscany. From that moment,
Hey, an American.
Amerikanski.
They also do things like stickers and so on, but most of the production is for helmets. these two.
Prima di arrivare alla stampa sul foglio.
Okay, well, of course,
Però
it's all
qui
starts
viene
with the
creato diciamo, il bozzetto e la pellicola che serve per realizzare la...
Later on, somewhere else, keep all the things.
Allora, il lavoro di creazione e di grafica è finito qui. Quando noi abbiamo la pellicola pronta, passiamo ad un altro livello.
So once they have achieved this,
Fuori la zona.
there are
Abbiamo dei
producers.
clienti francesi, per esempio.
Anche, they have clients from all over, even from abroad. He just gives an example. He also has a French client. So it's in this area, but also from Ci sono 2 centimetri e mezzo per 1 inch.
E da questa parte passa la stampa, il colore che gli vogliamo dare.
And here the design will come. They can fill it in with any color they want. Non so, se andate nel
L'acqua lì è pulita?
Excuse me. Just put it in the water.
No, you're not. No, allora, dammi, aprimi.
Yeah, that's what you said. It's probably been lying around too long. Oh, yeah, there it comes. Wow! Hey! Transparent support, and that's the clear. Okay, and that needs to be.
È asciutto. Questo
It's not yet
dovrebbe
dry.
stare un giorno al caldo perché questo
It needs to
si
start,
asciughi bene.
stay in a hot climate for about a day. Sure, he says for that you visited the farm.
Thank you for spending your afternoon with us.
Grazie per tutta la sua assistenza e il tempo che ha dedicato alla nostra visita.
Prego.
You're talking about own food. You should see the ones down there. Should I grab a picture?
Well, they eat it just as fast as they can. Hey, let's throw that stuff in there.
There's just some hungry birds. He's coming, he's coming. He's taking my calzone, the little monkey. Check out the equipment, guys. A select set of Entra 30, the latest Agfa stuff. All Macintosh shop. Notice over here he's got the latest G3s, the big monitors, 21 inch and the 19 inch. And he's got a whole raft of Macs over here, running all kinds of things. Nice stuff. I don't know if it's a 400 or not, but he's got this one here we're real familiar with, the 12660.
This is real marble. These are tiles. These are all imitation.
questo è lo stesso.
Imitation.
Sono tutte, diciamo, formelle di natura medievale.
Però imitazioni.
Imitazioni, queste
These are
sono
all
ceramiche.
imitations of medieval tiles. See, this is all imitation. They just copy what you see in places like Assisi or whatever, you know. So it's incredibly expensive.
Questi sono sempre dei flotti.
This is all terracotta. This is all what we call terracotta. These are the tiles that you
Palatino.
find in either
Okay.
the monastery of St. Francis or the little church of San Damiano, where St. Francis was addressed by the cross. This comes from Spello, from Perugia, the various, probably from a church somewhere. Orvieto, famous for its wine. Todi. Those are all towns where obviously they went into the churches or whatever to get inspiration to see the real tiles, and then they just reproduced them on the.
This is quite a facility. Quite a facility.
They got their ink and everything else right together. Look at those screens they have in that wall. I can't save a few. Oh, man. Doesn't look like they closed up their dirty rags, their closed can.
No. This is what they're producing here. It's a ceramic decal to go on a plate.
Our host for this visit, here's a certificate, we hope you'll display in your offices.
Ringraziamo per la visita e un certificato per riconoscere la visita. He is very honored, he says.
Spero che quantomeno avremo modo di vederci semmai anche in occasione della fiera.
He hopes to see you again at some, perhaps one of the trade fairs.
Semmai mi tengo in contatto col presidente.
He will at least maintain contact with you so you can inform him where you're going to be at the next fair.
We also have a small gift for the company. We also have a small gift for them.
portano per voi un piccolo regalo per tutta l'azienda, ovviamente.
It seems like everything in America is made in Taiwan or Italy or somewhere else.
Sembra che tutto in America viene fatto in Italia oppure Taiwan o qualche altra parte. Però,
So we have brought you a doll that is made by the American Indians.
però per
called
questo
a
motivo,
kachina.
le danno una bambola che è stata fatta dagli indiani e i nativi dell'America.
Grazie. Molto.
Fatto in America.
Sono molto felice, veramente. Magari
vedere.
come no, l'abbiamo.
Io magari non so che he likes the clothes made in America. He loves
Tra l'altro c'è un interscambio.
He knows all the names. Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren.
Telling you look just like Robert De Niro.
I do the work contracts.
Now you gotta go kiss his hand. He's the godfather.
Yeah, right.
He's been
Luciano.
he's been to America. He says in New York somebody approached him with the same remark. His head is
Grazie.
Oh, che bella!
Col vestitino, vedi, pelle proprio. Eccezionale.
Grazie. Thank you. Okay. I think now.
Whose camera? Maybe somebody.
Yeah.
And if you look at a map, it is just south of Ancona, and it's on the Adriatic coast.
The tomb of who? St. Peter? We need to write down what they are. Mine's going to be.
The old top is St. Francis Basilica in Assisi. You'll just see in the center the entrance that you took to go into the basilica. And on the right, this where my thumb is now, is the entrance into the upper church of St. Francis. This is the courtyard where the monks are running up and down, is the courtyard where you entered. The big basilica with the dome of Michelangelo and the colonnade of Bernini around. Red in it, and a choir singing in front of it, is the church of St. Mary of Loreto, and that church is a huge Baroque church built around the house of St. Mary, which in 1194 was transported from the Holy Land to Italy by angels.
Is that a true story?
It's a tiny little square building that sits in the center of the church, and the church is built around it. So.
We're Italian angels. An Italian angel.
I think I ate the ball.
Yes.
Hi, Captain.
Well, one the day that we were there.
This is Umbria.
last summer. I
It's
was
really
at the
beautiful
park.
country.
No, the reason I'm telling you this
The road is
because
not real good. That's why it's so bouncy, but it's a really, really beautiful place.
we drove by and he was standing out.
Most beautiful
as
place
far
we've
as
seen in Italy so far.
To that pole there. And he looked just like you.
Most of the ceramic tile and so on is made here.
I saw his back and his hair and his stand looked just like you standing out there.
The mechanics are German, the lovers are Italian, and it's all organized by the Swiss. But where there's a heaven, there's a hell, in which the cooks are British. the mechanics are French. The lovers are Swiss. The police are German, and it's all organized by an Italian. It's too important for history, so nowadays the underground system doesn't even bother to dig up. They just leave sleeping dogs lie, and the city of Rome has to make do with two of Fiumicino. You're going, the airport you're flying out of is called Leonardo da Vinci, and they're coming up in Italy in a couple of days' time. This area with all the trees up ahead of us on the right is called the Villa Ada. A villa used to be a big house with a huge park around it, belonging to a wealthy aristocratic family. Well, the house in the Villa Ada doesn't exist anymore, but the park people had to be buried, and Christians started using these catacombs and started digging deeper and deeper, more and more layers of labyrinthine corridors where they could bury their dead. Under this villa, under this park, 40,000 people were buried. Now, with the acceptance of Christianity in 313 AD, they removed all these martyrs, the people who had died for their faith, and reburied them elsewhere. But so the catacombs are now empty. Little restaurants and so on. Once upon a time, this was where you came if you were a star, or if you wanted to be a star. Nowadays, the Via Veneto is a bit of a thoroughfare, actually. It's lost a lot of its glamour. Nowadays, you don't go for the passeggiata anymore to the Via Veneto. You go to the Spanish Steps, the Piazza Navona, etc. Coming up on the left-hand side, just after the Excelsior Hotel, there's a set of traffic lights, and just beside the set of traffic lights, and we see a traffic policeman here with his white helmet giving a ticket to this Saab from Florence, I think it was, or whatever. We have the American consulate, is this first building on the left, just after the traffic lights here. This is where you go if you lose your passport. And the pink building on the left-hand side, you recognize it, the Stars and Stripes, the Embassy of the United States, here on the left. Now, this embassy is on American territory. As soon as you walk through those gates, you're in America. You know, there's only one American embassy in the world. It's a church, and you'll see steps leading up to the church. You're not there yet, just round the corner. That goes up to the Capuchin Church, and if you want to see the monks in there, even though they've been dead for centuries, they'll welcome you. They're still there, dressed in their habits. They're a little thinner. They've lost a little bit of weight. No, they're not stuffed. They're skeletons. Capuchin Church. Now, your hotel is coming up on the left, but I do want to point out the tiny little fountain coming up here.
Try not to run the camera over.
I'll try my best.
It's going to screw up the cue.
I know it is. Oh, here we are in the Vatican. Early in the morning. I better go. They're about to leave me.
This is the Vatican State. The Vatican State is a completely independent state since 1929. So we have the Vatican coin, 15th century, built at the Sistine Chapel. And look at the Sistine Chapel is in a rectangular shape, like a curve. Then the Vatican used for another special occasion, for the election of the popes. When the Pope died, the reunion of the cardinals is in this
Michelangelo wanted to show the energy that needed to Jesus for judging everybody. And the last judgment started when Jesus moved his right arm and this group of angels wake up the dead. This is called the resurrection of the flesh. Look at the elected people. They try to reach Jesus to the paradise, while in the other side, the bad people are pushed down at the entrance of the hell. Do you remember the Divine Comedy, where Dante Alighieri described the purgatory, the paradise, and the hell? He said, the hell is a big, dark hole in the ground with the different levels. Depends on our life, more close to the devil or more close to the sky. So the entrance of the hell, like a
Austin, it's going to be a whole bunch of burgers. I know this place.
You see the white one, and those are not the same, races of cypresses. One is from, the north side of Europe. The other one from the north side of Italy. That's why you see how you are different. One is put this big painting. This is the biggest of Vatican collection that gives the name to this room. That's we call Sobieski room. Sobieski is the name of this general. He came from Poland and he stopped the invasion of the Turkish people in Europe. This happened in 1683, but this was painted in the last century. Left and right, when you see the doors, we have other two paintings of the last century that represent the martyrdom of the monks. It took away the mosaic and they did the decoration of this central floor. You see, it's not the same size of this room. And the thickness of those tiles are more or less like this. With the Council of Ephesus, where the daughter of the church, they study, the life of the Virgin Mary, they decided the way 1854 of the Immaculate Conception. Look at the Pope of Pius IX during the day of the Pope.
No, but after it got started, you know.
A lot of John, he had a good plan. He followed it with it. He was ordered to do it.
Balance again. What did you call it? A scientific principle or scientific?
I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, but which one? Okay, you got it.
This throne has inside a simple chair in wood. According to the tradition, the chair in wood was used by St. Peter when he came here before that he was crucified. And this is called the Cathedral of St. Peter. 4 bronze statues, the daughter of the church, support, this throne. And you see this marble, you see that. And the symbol of support is the sword. St. Peter was from Palestine like Jesus. That's why the Romans used the cross. You see the letters around. Left hand side in Latin, to the right hand side those are in Greeks. And those are the Gospel of St. Matthew. And look at the dome where you see the letters there. Each letter is 2 meters. Means each letter is 6. This is the St. Peter's tomb. We are under the canopy. You can see the little box. Under the greenhouse from the top. You can take your picture. Never use recreation. Just and the Orsini family lived up there. Now this is all property of the Italian state. The 3 columns standing, this is the temple of Apollo, the god of the sun, Apollo. And the section just to the left-hand side was the ghetto. This was the Jewish, the original Egyptian lions at the entrance. Those lions come from an Egyptian temple dedicated to Isis. Look at top, you see one of the twins, Castor and Pollux, 2 gods. The staircase designed by Michelangelo, where you see the clock that is at the City Hall of Rome. 2 museums, one to the left, one to the right hand side. This was the Capitoline Museum. This was the first collection of art in the world by the Pope Shelley, in Latin, the altar in the sky. This was the highest church of Rome. And those ruins to the right hand side, those are the ruins of the condominium used by the Romans 100 years ago. Then this became a church. That's why you see the bell tower under the roof. There's a fresco painting. Those were called by the Romans. This is called the Victor Emmanuel II. Victor Emmanuel II was the first king of Italy after the unification of Italy. Look up the steps. We have the 2 soldiers. Now they are cleaning those steps, and they change the guard every hour. In the middle, the tomb of the unknown soldier of the First World War. The marble statue, the goddess Minerva. She symbolized the force and the power of Rome, like a family. Then just a few years that he was born and became France, the Corsica, but was an Italian family. So when Mussolini used that balcony, he wanted to see also the military parade. The military parade was in the street to the left-hand side, Imperial Forum Street. Mussolini built in 1932 this big avenue for the military parade, and he covered completely the communication among the squares, the forum built by the different emperors during the centuries. Look in front of us, there's a beautiful column. It's 1,800 years old. Trajan column. Trajan was the name of the emperor, the Roman emperor, who built that forum and this column. You see the relief all around? This is the exactly description of the battle of this emperor against the barbarians. At the base of this column once there was the tomb of this emperor, atop the statue of this emperor, and there is a spiral staircase for reaching the top side where you see the balcony. Now, you know, the tomb of the emperor disappeared. It was exactly from there that Nero saw the fire of Rome in the 64 after Christ. After this big fire started the persecutions to the Christian people. And to the opposite side of the street we have the Forum of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, the Roman dictator, so this was the first square built after the main one, the Roman Forum. Look at the three columns standing, the Temple of Venus. He always said that he was a successor of this goddess. We are at top of the podium, where you see the other columns, once this was covered by a sloping roof, and where you see the iron gates were the shops. This was the market, the taverne. And look at the bronze statue of the dictator, SPQR Julius Caesar, Dictatore Perpetuo, forever. And you see always to the right hand side the facade of a church. You can read Mamertinum. This was the prison of St. Peter, the prison of St. Paul before the martyrdom, the Mamertine prison. And look at the Roman Forum is on your right hand side. There's a big building, is the Curia. The Curia was, you know, the Senate, the Senatus, the heart of the political life in Rome. And look at all those ruins. You know, the Forum was among the three hills, the Capitol, the Palatine, and the Quirinal Hill. Now, you see this a different level, because the city of Rome never was abandoned. So we have Constantine the Great is now to the right hand side. There's a big basilica built first of all by Maxentius, then Constantine the Great. And the capacity of the Colosseum was for 55,000 people. In only 15 minutes it was possible to get in and out from the Colosseum, because pay attention to the ground floor above the arcades. Is still visible the Roman number. You see the X, the L, so 1, 2, 3 until 80. Each room had the number of the entrance and the number of the seats. And look at those holes. The holes were for the iron nails used by the Roman architects for joining the marble. During the Middle Ages, they took away this metal, they left the holes, and now the Colosseum looks like a Swiss cheese with so many holes. Look, it's an oval shape. So we have why Nero. At the time of Nero, the Colosseum didn't exist. This was part of his golden house, Domus Aurea. This was his private. That's why he used the lake for the construction of the public amphitheater. This was used first of all the general, the emperor, that prepare for those fights. Sometimes it was for 1 week, sometimes for 1 month, because this was a free entrance. So always in the 4th century after Christ, when he had his battle against Maxentius. Maxentius was a pagan emperor. Constantine was a Christian Roman emperor. They had the battle on the Milvio Bridge on the Tiber River. Constantine won, that's why date back the time of Marcus Aurelius of Trajan, because in the 4th century after Christ started the decline of the Roman Empire, not enough artists in Rome. That's why he was obliged to use the material that he had in the city. And looking to the right hand side, there's a hill. This is the Palatino Hill. This was both the Palatino Hill, built atop of those ruins, the villa, the residence, but now also the Palatino.
Viking.
You just can't.
A bunch of fluoride flags come down that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You do have to be able to.
This is right here within walking distance.
You do. No doubt.
3:30 down.
No kidding.
We got a half an hour.
I've got to find a place. I know. I've got to get somewhere.
3:30 downstairs for the trip, the tour. Wait a minute, I think I'll go over to McDonald's.
Hey, I think I might go over there and get a fry.
No, I don't want.
Oh, bellissimo. Very nice. Piacere?
Thank you for interpreting.
Thank you. Thank you to understand.
I have to wear this tomorrow.
I will. This came in just in time.
We're running out of time. We're running out.
Did you get your Ferrari? Have you seen that Ferrari? Hey, darling.
Yeah, he's just gone to get tickets and people go to the tour and we'll start our tour. And then we'll have lunch. Hi, Kathy. Good. I don't give a damn what you like to do. I can't breathe.
Okay, may I have your attention now, please? The reason I stopped here is because after this climbing, 50% of the group, including myself, needed some oxygen. And also because I need to explain you here, in a few words, the history of Pompeii.
That's the original one. He's bigger than me. Just the head is bigger than me. Most of his white marble today in Pompeii was from Carrara. No, Carrara is near Florence, in Italy. Carrara marble is the best in the world, the most expensive. The same quality of marble is by the famous Michelangelo, the famous Italian. You must imagine 35 statues, bronze and marble statues, which were standing on the pedestal. Look, we found the pedestals, but we didn't find the statues. What happened to the statues then? Probably when Spanish people occupied this part of the country in the 17th century, they came here, they started the private, illegal excavations, they came to steal is a better word, to pick up for free. Marble and statues from the... And then we walk this direction here. You want to see remains of human beings? Yes, right here it is. Look at me.
Okay, life in Pompeii was scattered suddenly, so everything was left on the spot. In Pompeii we found 3,000 skeletons of people killed by gas from other cities. We found cortical shape, that was the liner sediment. Then we see olive oil containers on the scaffoldings and water containers. Then, right at the center of the room, lying on the table, you see what you see there is not a 25.
came to visit Pompeii. He came to visit Pompeii 29 years before Christ. On his return to Italy from a famous victory, he had over Antony and Cleopatra. So when he arrived here, a temple, this one here, in which you can still see the original marble decoration, the beautiful Corinthian capitals. So you must imagine 4 columns. This was the altar on which they sacrificed the Pompeian people were still pagan. So they loved many, many gods and goddesses. And they used to sacrifice animals to gods. They killed animals, they offered the blood of animals to gods and goddesses. Then you see remains here of the original gate. There was a gate here 1,000 years ago, whose remains you can still see here. A gate made out of iron.
Flowers and wine and beer and wine and all the noise. I bet it was on.
Now these all had to be stolen.
See, this was a bedroom. Very small. Because in Pompeii they used a small bed and a small night table, which they called the trapeza, which means tripod, as I told you before. Remember that tripod? You might be wondering about this empty space which you see here. Well, 28 years ago, I remember here there was a white marble basin which was stolen. The marble basin was completely the light from the garden, the aeration from the garden. And here we found this beautiful mosaic fountain, mosaic and seashell fountain. You see the water jet, the water pipe is right on the center of the niche. That's a lead pipe, so there was a water jet there. And then you see a little bronze statue of Hermes, Mercury. Mercury was the god's messenger, was the protector of merchants. Then look how beautiful the frescoes here. These are the original paintings. Faint imitation of the blue sky with the vegetation and a bird flying there. See, it looks real. These are the so-called frescoes. You know what they call frescoes. Now when you get cold and cup, it's better than aspirin. But very good with aspirin. There's the counter with the 3 Roman wine into the counter. Then you see 2 gates. You see the 2 gates? The one on the right was leading into a small dining room. The one on the left was leading into a small gambling room. Pompeii was like Las Vegas, like Atlantic City, Monte Carlo if you want. They made a buck and they played the dice. You might not believe me, but the dice we found in Pompeii were exactly the same kind of dice we still use nowadays in the atomic age. Dice were made out of ivory, the same size.
They did a better job. What did he do? Know somebody?
No. All right, shall we go, folks? What happened to you? Come on. Hey, come on.
Who was it?
Go to the other corner. See where the men in green? Wow. Okay, this is one block. We are in between 4 blocks here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And most of the houses in those days had the stucco decoration on the walls, like this. A thick stucco decoration, which was painted in one of the traditional colors. There was the vestibule, and we finally see the basin, the one we missed in the other house, remember? Then we see 2 bedrooms. There's 2 brothers, 2 bedrooms, one there, one opposite, and 2 money boxes, 2 large treasure boxes. This was the sum of that room. No windows. Consequently, no doors at the entrances here, but only curtains. Multicolored velvet curtains. You can still see the original iron support, the 14 iron rings with the hang curtains.
So when they need the aviation and sunlight, they just open the curtains. The sunlight, the aviation came in these rooms from the garden, which you see behind you. Now you understand much better.
In Europe during World War II, you probably want to get a picture of this. Jay, go get us a picture. I want a picture of this. They were dug into those walls up there. You can see where the road goes back and forth.
And this is the end of it here.
I'm supposed to have some of yours.
Re-entering Rome.
I took it all up.
It's almost over.
I took everything we had and got it to Sophie.
Yeah, that's fine.
I took everything on the boat.
Yeah, because Jay and I both checked it, and then we took it to our room, and then I took it to Sylvia. Okay, I gotta make this announcement. We're in Rome, my darling. Rome. Rome.
Looks like it, didn't it?
We had a book. Yeah, the Vatican.
Well, we're drawing near the conclusion of our journey together. I know it's sad. This is the last time we'll all be together when we disembark our good fellow travelers by. But I wanted to go over one more time, and I brought the wrong piece of paper, dadgummit. The plan for tomorrow. And I'm going to have to change papers. I've got two different ones, excuse me.
You want this?
No, I did the wrong. Got some jacket. I need my transfer. This is sorry about that. Once again, we have 14 passengers. I'll call their names. Crawford, Johnston, Matthews, Shamway, Van Veldhuizen, Wycott, and of course Jay and me, leaving on a KLM flight tomorrow morning at 6:50. Those people will need to have their luggage out at 3:45, and we'll have box lunches available for you to take with you on the coach. Or box lunches, box breakfast. Okay, then we have 8 passengers on the 11 a.m. flight, or excuse me, 6 passengers on the 11 a.m. flight and 2 passengers on KLM at 10:25 to Canada. The other's US Air. 7 a.m. luggage out. So if you set your luggage out at, say, 5 or 10 to 7 and then go straight to breakfast, you can have breakfast in the breakfast room. It opens at 7. Levels. You'll need to just call a bellman to come get your luggage. Of course, I've only prepaid now, you guys, 1 bag per person, so your hand luggage you'll still have to tote down, because luggage gets real expensive at these hotels, just like everything else, you know. It's inflated or expensive for us.
So if you will, don't put all of your hand luggage on there. They'll send me a bill. So one bag is, your big bag is paid for. Okay. On British Airways at 3:50 in the afternoon, and so a car will be to pick you up. You'll call the bellman individually. Again, one bag per person via the bellman. At 12:30, the car will pick you up to take you to the airport. Now, the reason we're leaving, the last one to leave or be on the last flight, but it just didn't work out that way. So I will give you a phone number of the come time. After a 5-minute wait, if they haven't appeared, then you'll need to have the concierge call them and say, are you on the way? Hopefully you won't have my room. Joe's going to run up and get my briefcase and bring it down for me, and then I'll pass those out. Now, everybody knows how to do the thermal. Then you're going to get a credit on your credit card for that tax. If you haven't gotten it, by the time you get billed for the item, you might give your credit card company a call. Now, I wanted to tell you something too. Those of you who paid flying colors via credit card, which is the bulk of you, if something came in, if it hasn't already, comes in on your credit card that says LL Airways, then that's the way we transmitted money, and it should be exactly the money that add up to exactly what the cost of the trip was. If there are any discrepancies, of course call me, because it was all run through New York. But LL was kind enough to process the money for me. Okay? So if on your credit card you see an LL that's a flag carrier of Israel, then, okay, I think all of them have been, but I just wanted to tell you that it wasn't somebody you met over here on the streets or something, and they got your card off of a card. But make sure it is exactly, because I'm not a merchant. But without them, I couldn't have taken credit cards. Good trails. There's a whole bunch of them. But anyway, since Stuart Sargent has complimented me by the fact that he said he had heard worse.
Stuart.
I guess I won't sing too much. But listen, really, thanks a whole lot. I've had a great time. I hope y'all have had fun. And hopefully we'll all get together this time next year. There's a movie about that too. And we'll be in the northern part of Germany, headed to Poland and hopefully the Baltics together. So please come go with us. When you get home, stay in touch, okay?
Reunion dinner in Las Vegas, October 6th.
October 6th, Las Vegas Convention Reunion Dinner. See who wins the prize for the best photos. And before we let him go, let's hear it for Giuseppe. Who, by the way, I have found out's father, brother, and sister-in-law are all coach drivers.
Oh God.
Yeah, darling.